Now let's start with building our recurrent neural network. So the first step is we need to import some layers. So first step is we will import Keras layers, Keras libraries, and some of the packages. So first we will import Keras libraries and packages. Now we will import 4 as such layers. So from Keras.models we will import the sequential model. This sequential model will create our sequential neural network. The next is we will import the dense layer from Keras.layers. Import the dense layer. The use of this dense layer is to give the output. So to create the output for the neural network, this dense layer is useful. The next layer is from Keras.layers. We will import the LSTM layer. So this LSTM layers are used to create the LSTM network. So we need to import this LSTM from Keras.layers. And the last is we will import the dropout layer. Now this dropout layer is basically the dropout regularization, which is used to avoid the overfitting of the data. So these are the basic layers or the models which we need. So first is the sequential model. The second are the layers like dense layer to create output, then LSTM layers, and finally the dropout layer to avoid the overfitting of the network. Now let's start. Here we will build our recurrent neural network, building RNN. So the first step is we will initialize our recurrent neural network. To initialize the recurrent neural network, first step is initialization. So first we need to create the object. You can give any name to the object as you wish. First you need to create a model. So the model is sequential. So we are going to create a sequential model. So I will write S should be capital. Here also S should be capital. SEQUENTIAL. Sequential. So this is the sequential and I need to create an object for this. So this is my RNN model. So I will write RNN. Here we are going to predict the stock price. So our output variable is a continuous variable. So remember that in this problem we are going to deal with the continuous value. Now what is the difference between continuous value and discrete value? Continuous value means the numbers, like for example weight of a person, height of a person. So these are the continuous values. And discrete value are like categorical, like 0, 1. So those are categorical values. Okay. So here we are going to predict the stock price. So stock price is a continuous value. So that is our output. And this is how we can initialize our recurrent neural network. So this is, first we will run this libraries. We will run this and we got an error because import error from Keras.layers import drop out. Okay, the spelling mistake here, drop out. So done. So the libraries are imported and now let's initialize it. So yes, the model is now initialized. So after initialization of the module, now we will add some layers to this model. So now we will add our first LSTM layer and some dropout regularization. This dropout regularization are important to avoid the overfitting issue. So let's add our first LSTM layer. To add first LSTM layer, we will have to take the object of our network, which is RNN, and this sequential method has a add method with the help of which we can add the LSTM layers to it. So let's write here LSTM. LSTM is a class and inside this class we will set 3 values. So what are these three values? So first is the number of units of LSTM. For each and every layer, you need to define the number of neurons at each layer. Now, you can also keep 4 to 5 neurons, or you can keep 50 to 60 neurons. It depends on you. But if you'll keep less number of neurons, then it won't give you that good output. So always keep higher number of neurons so that your model will get trained really well. So here, first is you need to set the number of neurons. So here, as you can see that this is what you need to set here, that is the units. Then there are so many parameters here. There are so many parameters you can set, but we will start with basic. So first we will set units, then we will set the return sequences, and then we will add the input dimensions. So first we will add units. Unit means the number of neurons. So I will keep 45. So I want 45 neurons at each layer. Then you have to write the return sequences. Return sequences means, for example, if you are creating LSTM network. So LSTM network is here we are creating stacked LSTM network. So multiple LSTM layers are created, and with the help of this, backpropagation is also possible. So if it's your last layer, then you can set this return sequences is equal to false. But if this is your first layer or some in between layer, then by default it is set as true. So keep this return sequences as true. And finally we will add the input here. So input shape, here we will add these two parameter, that is xtrain.shape and 1. And that too we will add this in a round bracket. The other parameters are taken by default. So we will just pass this xtrain.shape 1 and 1. So this is our input to this first layer. So this is how you can create your first LSTM layer. Now let's add dropout layer to this first layer, first LSTM layer. Again we will have to take the object, which is RNN, and use this add method and directly write here drop out. Now how much percentage dropout you want to include in your RNN? So you can set this as 20%, 30%, it depends on you. So I will keep the dropout as 0.25%. So this much percentage, 25% of the neurons are ignored while during each iteration of training. So this is how you can create your first LSTM layer of RNN.